Alright, so after taking a look at my usage for technology, I feel like I'm in a weird spot because I don't use it anywhere near as much as I'd say mainstream kids for my generation. But at the same time, I don't, avoid it where I can really say I'm going to go on a binge. Because based off of what I'm seeing, I use my phone really to check the time a lot. So, if I'm feeling the class is dragging for sometimes I pull out my phone, or if I'm in my room and I feel like I'm going to be late to class, I pull it out. If I think I'm going to be late for anything, or just I'm bored, check the time on my phone. So that's probably going to be something which I have to cut out. In addition to that, I do use Facebook, but it's kind of I don't think it's a big deal. I use it for maybe 20 minutes a day, and that's, I start up, I look at like the first 10 comments in the feed, and if I think any of them are interesting, I'll read them, or at least I see a keyword that pops out, I'll read it. If not, I'll stop, and then that's about it. I don't post like my status too often. I don't comment on people's statuses that often. I don't like statuses that often. I have a very low Facebook footprint. So, I don't think it's a big deal. And in terms of social media, I don't use a Twitter, I don't use Instagram, don't use Tumblr, etc. So, I definitely can cut out my Facebook usage, which is probably going to be something that I do, but I don't think it'll have that significant of an impact on my life. The big thing which I do, however, is Pokemon, Justice League, and ESPN. Now, Pokemon, usually right before I go to bed, I'll just put up gold version or yellow and something like that, and I just, do my thing. I hadn't, really started doing Pokemon until I got to college. My roommate showed me the emulator, and since I hadn't played Pokemon in years, I was like, wow, I just got really into it, and so now, a couple of hours before every night, I just play, and it's really bad that I do it, and so that's definitely going to be something that I cut out in my diet. Another thing is I'm always on ESPN, mostly because I'm either checking my fantasy teams or I'm reading an article about Peyton Manning, trying to see if Rex Grossman's going to take over the starting spot, even though RG3 number 2 is there. Keep hoping for that. Then I read a lot of articles and I comment a lot. I go to some of the chat boards and I just debate people. I use my actual objective stance and show people how dumb some of their ideas are. I also show how dumb some of the ESPN writers and analysts are because I want to overtake them and basically get their job. And I don't think this is a very effective method, so I've also been making my own articles, and I spend a lot of time doing that. I use like other sports websites to gather my research, and then I write my own articles for like basically if there's a big event or if I'm analyzing the result of a game or something. I use that information and what I've seen, and I write what angle I think they should be using and things like that. I don't really know if I'm going to cut that out, mostly because that's like my passion and I can't forsake that. In terms of things like texting, I I don't do that too often. I text sometimes, and I mean I can definitely cut that out, but I don't think it's going to have too big of an impact. In terms of calling, I usually don't call until about the weekends when I'm actually going to do something. I don't socialize too much until the weekends. And so that's not really an issue during the week. I mean, I call my parents, like every other day or something like that. And I can stop that for 3 days, I suppose. But it's not going to be too big there. Then, yeah, it doesn't seem like I waste my time too much with this stuff. I use my laptop for schoolwork. I like to read up on news articles sometimes. I don't do that as much as I really should be because I spend most of my time on ESPN. So I think I can kind of shift some of my time, and that's what I'm going to be doing with my new media diet project, kind of learning how to use this new media correctly instead of using it incorrectly. because I don't think a diet is necessary for me or a binge. And yeah, basically I'll think of something.